Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So I just want to be very quick. This is the last stream. It's going to be very fast. I just came out of doing a little bit of exercise and training. So I'm about to jump in the bathroom and then head down to get some business done. But before I get into it, let me just let you guys know it's good that you guys talk boxing so much. We're going to talk about, first of all, Keith Thurman versus Manny Pacquiao. Something that Keith Thurman said yesterday that I totally believe, and that is he talked about how you deal with a guy like Manny Pacquiao. And you can always go and look at the interview with Helen Yee. Um, and pretty much that told me everything I needed to know. Keith Thurman definitely is a guy that does his homework. They've been studying, so I'm pretty sure Keith Thurman can execute that. So I'm absolutely sure that Keith Thurman is winning this fight. Yeah, I'm. If I got to put money on something and he's the underdog, that's great. Hey guys, this is the best time to go bet. Go inside of Las Vegas, put down your bet for Keith Thurman because you're gonna make some money. All right, for definitely you're gonna make some money on this fight. Um, Keith has been looking. He really has been studying. This dude does his homework. He and his trainer, they do their homework on fighters. That's why Keith Thurman. It's not by luck or chance that Keith Thurman is undefeated, and he's also the welterweight WBA champion of the world, super champion. There is a reason why this brother is so. They're talking about him wild and stuff. Again, people get deceived by Deontay Wilder. People get deceived by Keith Thurman. These are power punches, so they're going to arc their punches, especially when they're going to hit you with an impact to arc it over and turn it over. They turn the punch all the way over. Okay, Marcus May done the same thing. That's where you get most to generate most of your power. And Keith Thurman is a very deceptive kind of guy. Anyway, my point is this fight is based off of knowledge, and Keith Thurman understands Pacquiao pretty good. So I'm looking forward to seeing this fight. I have changed my probability for who will win the fight. Now I have it 65-35 in favor of Keith Thurman. It was 55-45 for a minute. It was 60-40 at first. Now it's tilted all the way onto, and that's a big gap right there. All the way, that's 30% gap. Keith Thurman, it's all Keith Thurman. And I don't see any stoppages, but there possibly could be, not necessarily Pacquiao, but it possibly could be somebody getting really badly hurt for a minute or so, and then they have to recoup. So I do expect this fight to be extremely exciting. I expect Pacquiao to get to Keith Thurman. I expect Keith Thurman to be able to handle what Pacquiao will do in his own Keith Thurmanish way, and weather the storm. I think Keith Thurman has a pretty decent defense, like Winky Wright. He has more of a Winky Wright defense than he has a Floyd Mayweather or Pernell Whitaker kind of defense. So it should be interesting how Keith Thurman handles it. Will Keith Thurman do what he's supposed to do? I think he knows what he has to do. And it all has to do with range, again, ladies and gentlemen. As much as Keith Thurman's talking about engaging Pacquiao, he's going to do it on his terms. He's going to do it at his range. That's what he's talking about, bringing the heat to Pacquiao. Now, I was listening to Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia did fight Keith Thurman. And Danny Garcia talked about Keith Thurman has his power early in the fight, and then his power goes away later on in the fight. I don't know about that because I remember Keith Thurman dropping Robert Ghost Guerrero in the 9th round because Guerrero woke up and really started taking it to Keith after that. But Keith Thurman, he carries his power all the way to the 12th round. So that's bad information, I think. I just think that once hit by his power, I think the fighter knows what to expect. Like Danny Garcia, once he was rocked by Keith Power, I think he knew what to expect after that. And so I think that's what really goes on. I don't think his power diminishes or anything. I think the fighters anticipate his power. Josecito Lopez, after getting tapped early, he was walking, he's walking with confidence against Keith Thurman. I think Keith Thurman carries his power all the way through. And if you go with the attitude, he ain't got no power after the 3rd round, you're going to be hugely disappointed. And Manny Pacquiao, this is just advice to Manny Pacquiao. Treat this guy like, the plague. Like, try to avoid his power hand as much as possible. That's going to be hard because you get hit by the straight right. You're going to get hit by the straight right. You're going to get hit by Keith Thurman. That's for sure. But at the end of the day, Manny Pacquiao can minimize the amount of impact by the way how he comes in on Keith Thurman. Pacquiao's a little bit more cautious. He's a little bit more careful. He's a little bit more elusive. I think he's a little bit more defensive. I think he's got better defense and so on. So I think that Pacquiao is going to be able to, especially very elusive on the back foot. I think he's going to be able to weather the storm against Keith Thurman. So I don't see anybody getting knocked out in this fight. I don't even see anybody getting knocked down per se. It might happen, but I don't see anybody really getting knocked down. It depends on if Keith Thurman, underestimates Pacquiao, which I don't think he's doing, and I don't think that Pacquiao will underestimate Keith Thurman at all. I expect Pacquiao to bring the thunder. I expect Keith Thurman to bring thunder. I expect fireworks. But I think it's going to be more tactical than people think. Is it going to be a barn burner? At certain points it's going to be, and at other points it's not going to be. Keith Thurman's going to bring the heat to Pacquiao, but Pacquiao coming to bring the heat to Keith Thurman too. And they're both going to do it in a smart, intelligent way. And you're going to see some of the best attributes of Pacquiao, maybe. And you may see some of the best attributes of Keith Thurman, maybe. Because it depends on how Keith Thurman handles Manny Pacquiao on the inside, especially. I want to see what Keith Thurman's inside game is, because I've never really seen Keith Thurman really. He's kind of very clean on the inside. He doesn't really clinch a lot. And I'm hoping that he would. He said certain things that he would do to Pacquiao, but there are certain things also on the inside he needs to do with Manny Pacquiao. He doesn't have to fight Manny Pacquiao like Floyd Mayweather, obviously, but it really works in your favor to sort of sometimes halt the action a bit by clinching. And the clinch doesn't have to be long. You can just clinch and then let go, just to get the positioning on a fighter to turn what to do. So I know Pacquiao is not stronger than Keith Thurman. That's absolutely certain. I know Keith Thurman has faced tougher opposition than Sean Porter. I think Sean Porter is a much tougher fighter than Pacquiao. I mean, styles make fights, but I think Sean Porter was the true acid test. Sean Porter keeps coming. If Pacquiao keeps coming, it's not a problem. Pacquiao is as quick as Sean Porter. I don't think he's quicker than Sean Porter. He throws a lot. He's much more accurate than Sean Porter, and I think he throws a lot more combinations than Sean Porter. But I think Sean Porter is a tougher fight for Keith Thurman than Manny Pacquiao. So based on that, I think Keith Thurman should be able to handle Manny Pacquiao, and I think he's going to win this fight pretty decisively. I think it's going to be an 8-4, 7-5 fight. People are going to say, some people, pro-Pacquiao people, will say it was a close fight, but it ain't going to be no fucking close fight. It's going to be either 7-4, 8-4. Maybe I lean more to 8-4 now. I think Keith Thurman's going to win 4 more rounds than Pacquiao does. I think Pacquiao's going to shine, and he's going to show why he's Manny Pacquiao, but he's going to lose this fight. Yeah. The people think that if this fight is close and it goes to decision, Pacquiao will get it. I probably agree with that, but the thing about it is not going to be close. Keith Thurman is going to make sure that the rounds he wins clearly won, and I think that's going to make the difference in this fight. Pacquiao's going to win some rounds clearly too, or at least to the untrained eye, it's going to look clear. But I think that Keith Thurman, I don't think he's stopping Pacquiao. I think Pacquiao's a lot more careful than he used to be, and he does get hit flush with certain shots, but he got hit flush by Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner can crack, and he didn't go nowhere. He didn't go nowhere, and I just don't see Keith Thurman stopping Manny Pacquiao. I just don't see it happening. A lot of people saying Keith Thurman will stop Pacquiao late. That's not happening. I don't think so. But the good point, I think, is, Jackson the Hopeful. What's up, my dude? Jackson the Hopeful says, I could see Thurman stopping Manny late. Nah. Not happening. It's not happening. But that's my opinion. I'll tell you why. All right? I always have a reason why I said that. One, the guy, Lucas Matisse, who's a power puncher. People talking about, Pacquiao didn't face any power punches. So he faced Lucas Matisse. And he also faced Adrian Broner, who's also a power puncher. And people forget that. Adrian Broner hits fucking hard. Ask Sean Porter. He dropped Sean Porter in the final round, right? Adrian Broner, when he was fighting Jesse Vargas, when he started teeing off on Jesse Vargas will tell you he hit fucking hard, okay? So, say what you like about Adrian Broner. He might have kept his hands home quite a lot, but he hits hard, all right? And he hit Pacquiao flush with a left-right combination. Pacquiao's head went pow, and Pacquiao kept fucking coming. So you're not going to just knock out Pacquiao. Look at his head. His head's big. He got big, solid head. He's powerful, man. Watch it, Pacquiao. Nobody knocking out fucking Pacquiao. That's not happening. And the fight will be competitive. And it will be, in certain parts of the fight, will be a chess match. Okay? It will be a chess match. These are two very smart fighters. One's very experienced. The other one has quite a lot of boxing knowledge passed down to him from Winky Wright, from the sparring, from watching Mayweather, from watching Colonel Whitaker, Sugar Ray Leonard, fucking Marvelous Marvin Hagler, fucking his trainer was a trainer for fucking Winky Wright, who was a defensive fucking fighter. I mean, it ain't gonna happen. Pacquiao ain't just gonna beat Thurman. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You know, Pacquiao. I mean, it could. I mean, it could. It's magic. You know, but I mean, I just don't see that happening. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you very much, Joey Pilata. You know, I'm trying to train and shit, and so I'm trying to get myself in order with my body. So yeah. I gotta shave though. I gotta get a haircut. We'll do that a little later. Shout out to Joey Pilata. Jackson the Hopeful says, who knows? Manny may show age, meaning less punch resistance, and he's stepping up to even higher competition. Doesn't matter. Don't matter. I mean, think about it. Think about it this way. Adrian Broner could not hit Manny Pacquiao with the real shots he wanted to hit him. Adrian Broner came in there to land that lead right on Manny Pacquiao. All right? He got him every now and then, but not very often. You got to hit Manny Pacquiao with a 4-punch combination to put him out of his misery. Marlon Marquez knocked out Manny Pacquiao because Manny Pacquiao was going in for the kill. Manny Pacquiao thought he had Marquez in trouble. He was trying to finish Marquez. Kind of like with Anthony Joshua was trying to finish off Andy Ruiz, and that's where you get tagged. And you know, it's like, what's this guy's name? The dude who was in the coma, super middleweight. He was the super middle. Adonis Stevenson, when he tried to fight Darnell Boone, and he went in for the kill, and he got stopped. It's like Danny Jacobs versus Sergio Mora, the first fight, where Danny Jacobs was going in for the kill, Sergio Mora caught him. That's the kind of shit we're talking about. That's why Pacquiao got knocked the fuck out. All right? He walked into the shot. Full-blooded. He leaped into the fucking shot. He don't do that no more. So it's not going to happen. And besides that, Marquez had trained his ass off to knock out Manny Pacquiao. And Marquez was a knockout artist. Everybody knows that. All right? Like Keith Thurman. But you can't count on your power. Like Keith Thurman's trainer said, we just going in for the win. We not going to predict no fucking knockout. We just want Keith Thurman to win. And Keith Thurman, he shouldn't be thinking about going for no knockout. He should be thinking to counter Pacquiao where he gets his opportunities and stuff. You know, because if you're thinking knockout, you're going to knock yourself out. You're going to get knocked out. And that's just stupid. So Keith Thurman should just go in there. He's going for the win. And if the knockout come, if it presents itself, he take it. You know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman has the power to break ribs. He has that punching power. He has a body shot that breaks ribs. You know. So, you know, Keith Thurman going to the body. I think they're going to do some body work on Pacquiao. They have to try and break something. They have to crack something or break something. I just don't think they're going to do that to Pacquiao. Because Pacquiao has a beautiful guard that defends his whole entire lower body. You think hitting Pacquiao to the body is going to be easy. It's not. It's like Robert Guerrero. Robert Guerrero protects his body very well. Keith Thurman caught him up on top. And after that, Robert Guerrero woke up and started beating the shit out of Keith. Well, he was very aggressive against Keith Thurman. Let's put it that way. Don't forget to smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to smash the like button. Shout out to each and every one of you guys that are on this chat right now. I want to talk to Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao, because I'm absolutely 100% on Keith Thurman right now. When I mean absolutely 100%, I think he's going to win. 65-35 for Keith Thurman. I think Keith Thurman takes this fight. I don't, you know, everybody always wants to see a knockout. But I just don't think these guys are, I think, at a level, especially Pacquiao. I think he's at a level where he's not going to be stopped. I think he's also very motivated. So he's going to be very, very sharp, and he's really going to be coming at Keith Thurman. He's really going to be coming at Keith Thurman. Every opportunity he gets, he's going to be very elusive. He's going to try to pivot around Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman has to be very alert and be able to have Pacquiao face him all the time so his jab could be effective when he wants to throw the jab. And I think he's more than agile and more than up to the task to be able to do that against Manny Pacquiao. So I think it's going to be good. Yeah. Anyways, so I want to talk about Canelo as well. If you guys have anything else to talk about Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao, let me know. I mean, the fight is exactly a day away from now. The weigh-in should be tonight, so the fight is going to be a day from now. I want to see what Keith Thurman looks like in the weigh-in, what he looks like physically. If he looks, physically looks good in the weigh-in, it's on like Donkey Kong, ladies and gentlemen. Because Pacquiao, all Pacquiao's wins, you talk about Miguel Cotto, he was weight drained. You talk about Oscar De La Hoya, he was weight drained. You talk about Tony Margarito, he was slow as fuck. And he wasn't even the real champion. They made him a champion up there. And it was at a catch weight. You look at all of Manny Pacquiao's really the most sensational wins he had. And even against Mosley, Mosley had come off of a a draw to Sergio Mora, loss to Floyd Mayweather. He took a beating from Floyd Mayweather. You know, this is, I mean, Adrian Broner, to his credit, Adrian Broner come off a good win, or was it a draw? I think it was a win against, I can't remember who it was. I know he fought a good fight against Jesse Vargas, but I thought Vargas won that fight, but he really came on strong in the later rounds. AB is still a good fighter. He's just not committed to boxing like we expect him to be committed to boxing. And he said some real dumb shit after. It's not funny anymore. But AB, he beat AB, and AB was motivated. AB wanted to beat Manny Pacquiao. You could see he had the idea, the strategy of how to beat Manny Pacquiao. He just couldn't execute it the way he would have liked to execute it because Pacquiao had taken control of that fight from round one. And Keith Thurman is a guy who will, I guarantee you, ensure that Pacquiao doesn't establish control from round one. Yeah, Keith Thurman's going to take control of that fight from round one. He has, I think, the skills and I think the unorthodoxness to be able to kind of offset Manny Pacquiao, make him kind of think twice about coming in just like that. And Pacquiao's a dog, but he ain't gonna walk through a hail of punches. He's a lot more defensively responsible than that. And Keith Thurman is going to fire a barrage of really weird, unorthodox punches on Manny Pacquiao. He's gonna rain down hell on him. And I think that's going to deter Pacquiao initially. Pacquiao's going to come in wanting to get something, and then he's going to be like, you know what, I need to be a little bit more careful here. Because when he tries to do his little pivot to the side of Keith Thurman, Keith Thurman's facing him and tagging his ass, he will be a little hesitant for a minute. So I think Keith Thurman's going to have Pacquiao a little bit on the back foot. He's going to have him a little bit offset and sort of, what is it? What's the word I'm looking at? He's going to be uncomfortable. He's going to make Pacquiao uncomfortable for a little bit. Keith Thurman did his homework very well. He knows what they can do. You know, how you can counter Pacquiao, how you basically use pivot work to counter Pacquiao and stuff like that. So he's done his homework. So I want to see, at least he said it. Now it's to see if he can execute it. And I think he can. So I'm very much convinced that he's going to win this fight. I don't think that Pacquiao's going to get slept by him. Keith Thurman hasn't slept anybody in the longest while. Pacquiao slept Lucas Matisse, which is very good. But Keith Thurman hasn't slept anybody, or should I say stopped anybody. None of them have slept anyone, but he hasn't stopped anybody in a while. Poopy Sistrong says, do you want to see Thurman versus Crawford? Thurman versus Crawford. Yeah. Fuck yeah. That's a good fight. I got Thurman again. Nobody beats Thurman. Nobody beats Thurman. Too scientific. Too fucking scientific. Nobody beats Keith Thurman. I think. I think Keith Thurman beats all of them. Errol Spence is going to be a good fight, but I think he beats Errol Spence. I think he beats... And he's wildish. Errol Spence much more technical. Kind of like Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. Wilder's not as technical as Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's a much better fighter, which leads me to Anthony Joshua. I got to talk about. He's a much better fighter, in terms of boxing wise. But Wilder got that speed, that quickness, that athleticism, and then from that he can pull himself into position faster than say Anthony Joshua. Don't get me wrong, Wilder does do certain things Anthony Joshua just don't do. But Anthony Joshua got decent defense. He's got good defense. He depends on his timing, not so much on his speed. Very good boxing IQ and hard work. He puts in hard work. Which leads me to Anthony Joshua. I love the video that he put out. It's so very inspirational. To the next chapter. The man is brilliant in the marketing campaign as well. And I love that he just made no fucking excuses whatsoever. The man's a true champion. I expect him to go out there and proceed to work to get his belts back, which I think he will inevitably get back, because let me tell you why. If you look at that first fight, like I said before, he went in for the kill, and that's where he really messed up. Before that, he was doing fine. Andy Ruiz was getting to him, but it wasn't significant at that time. And I'm sure the fight would have evolved more and more. Andy Ruiz would have gotten more success getting to him. But my point being that what really got him was going in for the kill, and he got caught in the process of going in for the kill. you know, and he's aware of what happened. So I really love that he outlined his failure and he was able to track it down, and literally his attitude towards his loss is just brilliant. I mean, this guy is a machine. He went back to the gym and he's working right now, and he gonna get his he definitely gonna try and get his belts back. And you know, Andy Ruiz has certain things that can keep Anthony Joshua from getting his belts back. To be honest with you, he got certain skill sets which are very underestimated. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder would have some problems with him, I think. But I think that Anthony Joshua knew what he was supposed to do, and I think if he did what he was supposed to do, he should have gotten the W on Andy Ruiz easy. He'd have gotten it easy. I think Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder would do the same, you know. But he does present some problems because he slips punches, rolls punches, he feints before he comes in. He changes levels, which makes him accessible to the jab, to the pit. I think Andy Ruiz, though, he should be working twice or three times as hard right now, because from his attitude and his tours and all that shit, and eating bars and Snicker shit and all that, I mean, that's been Andy Ruiz, but he has to take up his game now. He is the unified heavyweight champion of the world. And at that level, you ain't going to stay on top of there if you don't turn up your game. Because I know Wilder's turning up his game. Every single day, these motherfuckers be turning up their game. You know, Anthony Joshua's working on his game. You know, Tyson Fury's working on his game. And so if Andy Ruiz want to stay in that stratosphere, and he don't want Anthony Joshua beat his ass or knock him out next fight and take back his belts, he better be on his game. And I don't see that from Andy Ruiz so far. He seems to be vacationing and reveling in his victory, and that's cool, but you should be back in the gym, because these guys are back in the gym a long time ago. They've been doing gym work. They've been working. And that's something that when I heard Anthony Yard's trainer say, I thought that in and of itself was beautiful, because Anthony Yard's trainer was misquoted. Some guy said that Anthony Yard's trainer said they don't do sparring. That's bullshit. That's not what he said. He said we don't do camp. What he means by that is there is no specific training time. There's a saying that says, stay ready. Don't get ready. Stay ready for a fight. So they be doing a sort of system of training all fucking year round. Kind of like Sean Porter and his dad. They go back in the gym and they train it, right? And when there's a fight, well, they train specifically for that. Yes, they call it a camp, but it's not really camp, because all year round, motherfucker be sparring. All year round, motherfucker be learning things and that kind of stuff. So that's what Anthony Yard was basically, and his trainer was saying, which was misquoted and misrepresented. And I think that's the way to go. Anthony Yard's just learning more and more as he keeps on going. What's his name? Dillian White. You heard him saying the same thing. They just be training and working on their craft and working on the skills that they have. So they're just working. You know, it's not like these guys take a day off. And that's something I try to explain, that modern day fighter is different to the throwback fighter. I was listening to Teddy Atlas talk about 300 fights and 400 fights and, you know, 200 fights that the throwback fighters had. And, you know, the amount of quality of people who were invested in boxing. You know, these guys had more experience. I think it's bullshit, because it's not like the guys today are just sitting back, you know, eating popcorn or some shit like that. No, they're training all the time. They're learning all the time. They're sparring all the time. They're getting stronger. They're getting smarter. They're getting wiser. They're learning more things. So it's not like these guys are laid back not doing fights. Yes, sparring is not the same thing as as a fight, but these guys, and you know what's the irony of it? He said. So you say he was very careful about talking about throwback fighters and, you know, the golden era of boxing and all this bullshit, right? Then he turns around and says Pernell Whitaker would fit right there in there. Pernell Whitaker was the new school of shit. Pernell Whitaker didn't have 300 fights. He had 46 fights. Pernell Whitaker did the new school stuff, which is sparring. He fought like once or twice a year. So what the fuck is Teddy Atlas saying? And he did a thing I don't like. The guys, it's a different fucking era. The golden era of boxing was a different era to now. But don't tell me that now is inferior to back then. You know, because What these old timers do, and I'm an old timer myself, is they make it sound as if, you know, the golden era is much better than now, and that fighters today they can't even touch the fighters of yesteryear, and the fighters today they 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 have it easier. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I'll say that any day. I tell Tanny athletes to his face, that's bullshit you talking. I could call you out on that. Because when you look at the back-to-back fucking fights them guys used to have, it was, you know, on occasion, on certain occasions, they fought top-tier guys. But most of the time, these motherfuckers be fighting either a rematch or these motherfuckers be fighting low-tier fighters. Don't bullshit us, man. And being stay busy fucking fights, you know, to stay sharp. And that's something you can do. That's called exhibition match. That's called sparring. And I don't care what nobody says. Some of the fighters that they say have such great reputation, they wasn't in the class of the other guys. That was sparring. That was work. We call it. We call that work. You go in the gym, you sparring people, you get work. You get paid for that. That shit shouldn't ever be in a boxing match. Let's be real. And that's the kind of bullshit we got to deal with. If you be beating a fighter, every time you meet them, you're beating their ass. The fight ain't even close. Why the fuck you rematching them? Why are you rematching them? And they boast about this shit. Oh, he fought him 5 times and he beat him 5 times. Then why the fuck did he fight him? You want to do a rematch if there was a doubt. It was a close fight, you rematch it. And you know, some of those old time greats, again, I'm just dropping information. I'm just dropping knowledge on people for people to think about. Some of those old time greats, man, let's be real here, okay? They get a split decision controversial win. They don't rematch that fucking dude. But they won't rematch a dude that they can beat easy. Huh? We want to talk about no. Let's be real now. Let's be real. I can pull up one right now. Okay? I can pull up this shit right now. Just to show you guys. All right? Or you face a guy, he beats your ass. Right? Yeah, a real good fighter. He beats your ass. You never rematch him again because you want to see that shit. You don't want to see that work. I can show you that over and over again too, right? And my point being, you know, people like to praise guys 30, 50, 40, 60, 80 years ago, 100 years ago, right? You know, and it's all well and good. I'm not saying no. But when we started really looking at them under a microscope, then the guys today, they actually look as good or better than them. All right? Let's be real. Boxing has reached a much higher standard than it used to have. All right? And for anybody who says otherwise, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. All right? Hey, old timer. You see, people got nostalgia. If I was, you know, watching boxing in a certain era, I'm going to think that era was the best era ever, right? It's just what it is, right? But that's bullshit. All right, unless the facts support that. Take, for instance, the 1984 Olympic team, boxing Olympic team, all-star Olympic team. They won 9 gold medals. So if you say that was the best Olympic team in boxing ever, you'd be right because they won the most amount of medals. There's facts to support that. But if you turn around and say, well, you know, every single one of those guys were better boxers than anybody ever in the sport of boxing, where your shit to back that up? I always tell people, you can say whatever you want to say. Do you have shit to back it up? Floyd got shit to back up his TBE claim. Clarissa Shields got shit to back up her claim. You see what I'm saying? All I say is, if you're going to make a statement, back your shit up. And I'm cool. Back your shit up. That's what I keep on telling people, right? You know, right. Me and Get This Smoke was talking a little bit about Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. This is for another time, another day. They're going to have the rematch. And y'all going to see what it is. Y'all going to see what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be, right? All right. Tyson Fury is different to the Tyson Fury that faced Deontay Wilder the first time. And so I hope my boy Deontay Wilder is working hard, putting in that work. I know he's a very good boxer. He's an excellent boxer. You know, he just put in the showbiz, so he gets wild sometimes when he's crashing opponents. But he's actually a very good boxer. He has a really good jab, excellent jab actually. And I like how he's experimenting with different things, head swivels and, you know, feints, and he changes up his angles as he's walking in. He come off of different angles. You know, he do a lot of things. I told people, Deontay Wilder is an underrated boxer. When some clown, I think it was what's the dude, the cruiser, the guy who fought Usyk just recently and got his ass beat and got stopped. He was saying how Deontay Wilder is the worst heavyweight ever. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Deontay Wilder, I think, is a much better fighter than Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko got honed skills when it comes to the jab and shit. But if Deontay Wilder was to face Vladimir Klitschko, he'd knock his ass out. He would knock him out. Anthony Joshua knocked him out, but Deontay Wilder would knock his ass out. Like, flatline him. You know. And the reason being, Klitschko is, you know, he good and all of that, but you know what he get caught with. He get caught with that left hook, man. He get caught with that left hook stink. If Tyson Fury could have caught him with the left hook, Deontay Wilder show his head would stretch his ass out with the left hook. It'll stretch him. Okay? Let's just be real. Right? And I'm just saying, people underestimate Deontay Wilder's boxing skills. He's a bronze medal from the Olympics. You don't just get a bronze medal just like that. Fuck out of here for all those people who were saying, oh, well, you know, he didn't really face the best competition. But whatever, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? He got a bronze medal. All right? He got a bronze medal. And that shit is hard to do. And he went to the Olympics and he got it. He made it to the Olympics. Let's start with that. All right? So enough of the bullshit. And then he made a medal in the Olympics. So, yeah, he a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. Very, very good fighter. Top tier elite boxer. All right, man stays clean. I like that too. He honest dude. I like him. I like him a lot. All right, it's just that when it comes to facing Tyson Fury, that's a totally different story. And it had nothing to do with me liking Tyson Fury. I just watched them in the ring and I realized, fuck. He can't handle Tyson Fury. You know, Tyson Fury is a tough guy to beat. He's a tough motherfucker to beat. You know, so we're gonna see in the rematch. But I just don't think that Wilder gonna beat Tyson Fury in the rematch. But it'd be nice to still watch it and see what happened. You know, but it is what it is. You know, he caught him though. He caught him in the 12th. He got up to him. That was Tyson Fury for it though, because he was supposed to pivot. Instead, he decided to roll the punch, and he got caught first, I think, with the right, and then the left hook. It was a beautiful right, by the way. And a beautiful left hook, which he kind of slightly rode anyway, but that's probably why he didn't get knocked the fuck out, really knocked out. He was able to recover. And Tyson Fury is susceptible to that. So Deontay Wilder should be looking for that punch again in his fights with Tyson Fury. Because Tyson Fury lapses in concentration, doesn't realize he's not in the right position. And you leap into gear there, you can catch him. So you got to leap in, which opens you up for a counter. So you got to be careful. You know, but yeah. Going on to Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is talking about, you know, he got to get the best fights for the fans. I know I talked about this before, but I just want to call out Canelo's bullshit. The fans want him to face Demetrius Andrade. I'm gonna keep the pressure on. Oh, I have to put up a poll. I didn't put up the poll yet. I'm gonna put up the poll, you know, because Canelo it's almost 1 o'clock in the day. I gotta get moving. But Canelo, man, he be fucking up, man. He be fucking up big time. This is one of the clown moves I didn't believe he would do, because I've supported all his moves so far, and this is one of those moves where he literally is ducking and dodging and Demetrius Andrade. This is for real, and I'm kind of shocked. I'm like, damn, Canelo was actually ducking Demetrius Andrade. He don't even mention that motherfucker in his mouth. That's kind of like Sugar Ray Leonard. They wouldn't mention Mike McCallum for shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same shit going on right now. And I'm like, wow, for real. Wow, he ain't want nothing to do with Demetrius Andrade. So this is what he's showing us. And that's very sad. It's not like he's old. He's younger than Demetrius Andrade, first of all. 2, Canelo is his contemporary. They were in the same weight class in 154. Demetrius Andrade was a world champion a little bit after Canelo was a world champion. And I can't believe this shit. Tommy Temper says my traps look bigger. Yeah, yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. Been working the hell out, man. I've been working hard. For 44-year-old guy, I've been working hard on my body, and my body's it's getting up to par. I still have problems with my stomach a little bit in terms of bloating, but my body's getting up to par, so I feel good about that. Um, we'll be doing a whole bunch of ab work again. Yeah, so yeah, they're contemporaries and shit. So I don't understand. I don't understand. He didn't face Demetrius Andre at 154, right? We gave him a pass. We was like, Demetrius Andre, he ain't got that much experience. Win the first world title. This motherfucker won his first world title down in down in yeah, down 154. Demetrius Andre. Then he had some promotional issues, so he wasn't fighting anybody. Canelo was doing his thing. All right? He was supposed to fight Jamal Charlo. Never did. It was Jamel Charlo, I think. And then Canelo moved up to 160. And then Demetrius Andre, after he got back his contract and stuff, he fought. I think Bonus might have roasted him the second time. Supposed to fight, try to get the Charlo fights. Didn't happen. Moved up to 160, right? Demetrius Andrews had now, I think, 3 defenses or 2 defenses at 160. So he's established 160 pounder. He was established 154 pounder. Was established 160 pounder. This is the time for Canelo to face him. Now, having said all of that, I used the toilet. Yeah, having said all of that, I would say that Canelo need to face, if he don't face Demetrius Andre, okay, cool. Demetrius Andre will have to try and face Billy Joe Saunders or Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo don't want to face Demetrius Andre. I don't really hear him talking about Demetrius Andre either. So there's a lot of ducking and dodging going on here. Demetrius Andre might end up facing Billy Joe Saunders at 168. I go up to 168 and face Billy Joe Saunders. That'd be a good fight for him. He's got that fight. The Jamal Charlo fight doesn't look like it's gonna happen. And he talking about he a brother of Danny Jacobs, so we can't even see that fucking fight. So that's the kind of shit that I'm talking about. There are fights out there for these middleweights, and we're not seeing them. And Gennady fucking Golovkin, he ducking everybody, right? This motherfucker he want to face Jaime Munguia, 154 pounder. So he ducking everybody. So these fuckers are doing like back in the day where Sugar Ray Robinson had to wait for a motherfucker to vacate his title before he could face for the welterweight title of the world. And now this same shit is happening here in the middleweight division. The motherfuckers don't want to face the competition that would really test them, and also fights that we want to see. We want to see Billy Joe Saunders versus, any one of those guys I just mentioned, Jamal Charlo, Demetrius Andre, Danny Jacobs. That's what we want to see. You know what I'm saying? Any one of those guys facing each other. Canelo facing any one of those guys. He already faced Danny Jacobs. Gennady Golovkin facing any one of those guys. That's the shit we're not seeing. We're not getting Canelo versus Callum Smith. That would be a good fight. That's a fight I would prefer. If you're not gonna face fucking Demetrius Andre, then face Callum Smith. You want to talk about 168? Well, face the best at 168, which is currently Callum Smith. There's Caleb Plant there. There's Billy Joe Saunders. And I don't know who else we got, right? Face one of those guys. No, you want to face Sergey Kovalev. The fuck? You know what I mean? That's so fucked up. You're like, why? We know Sergey's soft to the body. What the fuck you want to go there? We want to go to somebody who is undefeated. Not just for the undefeated sake, but the fact that they're so good that they stayed undefeated. They've been world champions for a while, right? Callum Smith's recently world champion, but he's shown us how good he is. Stopping guys. We don't know if he's vulnerable to the body. We don't know all of that stuff. So that's Callum Smith. Then you got Billy Joe Saunders, who's won the 168 title. He used to have a 164 title, a 160 title, and undefeated, which means nobody knows how to beat him, and doesn't seem to be vulnerable to any area. And he can box like shit, man. And he's southpaw. That's the shit we want to see. We don't want to see some fucking fight where we know the guy is vulnerable to a certain area and you expert at that. Fuck that. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to see that shit. Right? We want to see something that we know. We don't know what would happen. Right? Demetrius Andrade versus Canelo Alvarez. We don't know what really will happen. Because Demetrius Andrade is a good fighter. So that's the fucking fight we want to see. And he's a contemporary of yours. What the fuck? You don't have him in your mouth at all. Like, he's not in your mouth at all. I think Gomez mentioned him once as somebody they were thinking about. Your motherfucking ass is avoiding him like the fucking plague, and we don't know why. Why are you avoiding him like that? And you're talking about a worthy fucking opponent. That's a worthy fucking opponent. And if a opponent for the fans, and the fans want to see, that's the fucking opponent the fans want to see. You know, and I gotta conduct that poll so we can get some more information. My point, anyways, is bullshit. He's bullshitting us, which means he don't want to face Demetrius Andrade. That's what it's basically saying. For whatever reason, he don't want to face Demetrius Andrade, and that, in my opinion, is a duck. If you ain't want to face nobody come September, it's because your ass about to duck Demetrius Andrade, and that's just what it is. And I'm not gonna wash my mouth on that shit. And I'm a Canelo Alvarez fan. I am a Canelo Alvarez fan. I am a Canelo Alvarez fan, through and through. All right? But that's a duck. It's just what you call it what it is. Call a spade what it is, right? MG Toe Stop Ating Me said Thurman's gonna hold, stiff arm, push, pull, and make sure he's the only one seen swinging by the judges. Maybe. I don't know. Thurman's not much of a holder, though. He might clinch and turn. I don't know about stiff arm either. Thurman doesn't stiff arm. I don't see Thurman doing those kinds of things, to be honest with you. Shout out to you, though. Shout out to all the other people there. So I talked about Anthony Joshua. I talked about Keith Thurman, Canelo. And I also talked about Keith Thurman versus Manny Pacquiao. That's basically what I got for today, guys. It was really good talking with you guys. Thanks for smashing the like button, by the way. Those of you who did. So, let me just say, Jackson the Hopeful, Joey Pilata, Poobie Sistrong, Tommy Temper, and MG Toe Stop Ating Me. Shout out to you guys. I'm out of here. Peace. It's 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. in the day for me, which will be 1,300 hours. You guys have a good one. And I'll catch you guys later. I'm going to talk some more boxing tonight. We're going to look at the weigh-in, and then we're going to see what we can make out from the weigh-in. But I'm pretty much going to keep Thurman all day to win this fight. Manny Pacquiao is a damn good fighter, but I think Keith Thurman's got his number. Deuces, you guys have a good one. Peace.